Hello and welcome, beautiful soul family, to the Soul to Soul Conversations podcast. I am Caroline Crawford.
And I'm Paul Crawford.
So wherever you're joining us from around the world right now, let's just really arrive in this moment and take a deep breath together. May that breath join us heart to heart and soul to soul.
And just wanted to say a great big thank you for you joining us today, for tuning in. And also to a great big thank you to all of our new subscribers. We really welcome you to this channel. And today we're going to be talking about this quickening that has taken place and allowing ourselves to really embrace the synchronicities of those changes and all the higher resonance and frequencies that we're moving into.
Yeah. And talking about these things we're moving into, I feel, and I bet many of you watching will agree, that this is very much a time that further changes are taking place now, because as this energy of this higher frequency and codes are pouring in to assist us, further changes are taking place within us as individuals. And maybe where previously, there's been a lot of release, a lot of letting go, a lot of detoxing, and I think now is a time where there's a deeper or a deepening of that aspect, that we're becoming more in alignment with that. But as we define these changes with a greater inner clarity, this opens us up to a further changes within ourselves. Now, as we've alluded to about these changes in the previously, it's also as we move into that with that greater inner clarity, we also open up to allowing our lives to see the patterns that we've perhaps had in the past and begin to really change those. Because as I say, we're moving into this higher frequency, and I can see that as we move with these changes and become very adaptable with them, we're starting to see, do you realise, Paul, I was thinking just the other day that we've made so many changes in our daily lives, in our daily routine.
Definitely have.
And also what we've really recognised is an increase in synchronicities. I'm going to give you an example because we've had so many recently, but I think this is one of my favourites. So I woke one morning with the idea that we should create a gathering through one of the groups that we have here in Sarasota and on the beach for a CE5 meeting. And I'll explain to you, of those of you that don't quite know what that is in a moment, what that exactly is. So I had this thought, this idea, and I thought, yeah, that's good. So I posted it on one of the WhatsApp groups that we have later that day. And then I called Glenn, who's one of the founders of the group, to discuss it, to say, would he be interested in doing something like that? And he actually said that in the last couple of days, he had been putting together information to create a gathering with a meditation and to include a CE5 protocol. So, and as I was talking to him, I just said, I really feel compelled, Glenn, for us both to acknowledge this synchronicity, because I felt it was our star family, our higher guides, our galactic family were really influencing us to do that very same thing. So a CE5 gathering, CE5 stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, yeah. And it's a term that was coined or introduced by Dr. Stephen Greer. And it's where a peaceful gathering of people join together with the intention of making conscious contact with what they believe to be non-human intelligence, or what many of us call our star family, our galactic family, through meditation, through coherent intention, through quiet observation of the night sky with an open heart. And we've actually got a frequency that these higher beings can pick up on and hear. And then they know it's like a peaceful invitation for them to come and join with us, if you like, here on the earth plane. But whether or not anyone experiences unusual phenomena, the thing is, they're just such beautiful gatherings of community and expanded awareness and a deeper connection, not only with ourselves, but with the universe. It's such a beautiful thing. So that was one of my synchronicities that, as I say, there's been many of them. But when I was on the call to Glenn, I was just like, wow, what a synchronicity that is.
I know, it was, wasn't it? Just like, and we've been talking recently as well about the synchronicities of things that have been changing and everything else. But these gatherings, it's all about connection and connecting to that greater consciousness, connecting to and looking up to the stars and connecting to our star family, actually inviting them to come in. And as Caroline said, we've got this frequency recording, and we've actually used it, and it had... Really, didn't it?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was,
Just share a little bit about that. I think you should.
All right. There was a gathering that went on for about a week or so, and this
Online.
we was watching online, and then at the end of that week there was they was going to be making this communication to invite our star family in, the ETs in. And we went to Siesta Beach, and as soon as the sun set, actually it's a little bit unusual because the beach then emptied. A lot of times people still stay around, but they didn't, and they just seemed to empty. And we had a meditation, we played this frequency, and we called in the ETs.
Invited them in.
Yeah, and with that, we laid back and looked up at the darkened night sky. And we saw all this light ship movements, and they were going one way and then shooting off in a different direction. And in the space of probably about 20 minutes or so, we must have seen about 15 light ships.
Or more,
yeah. And it was really, it was interesting because you could see the planes going over.
Oh yeah, and tell them about the one that was tracking that plane.
Yeah, and it was like tracking the plane, and then all of a sudden it just went off at a different angle.
Yeah.
And it was quite incredible, really. But I just wanted to say as well that as we're getting into this deeper connection with not just with ourselves, but as we do it with ourselves, we're then connecting more strongly with everything that's outside of us, and it's allowing that change to take place. It's allowing ourselves to kind of find a new mindset within us that's going to bring about a greater ease, to allow us to move into those changes with naturally with a stronger connection, naturally with a greater ease, naturally with a greater oneness and connected state of being. And one of the things that you might find that's taken place, Caroline said about the synchronicities, but there's also, with those changes, you might notice a difference in how you're feeling, what's happening with you. One of the things that is happening with me is my sleep pattern. Really changing, which is unusual.
Well, it is. It's usually me that gets, wide awake at night, especially around the full moon. But anyway.
Yeah, so I had a spate where I was waking up at 2:00, 2 a.m. every morning. And at first I was getting a bit frustrated because I knew my alarm was going to be going off and I needed to get some sleep. And then, but it sort of highlighted to me that the fact that I was, it was causing me to a resistance there. It was causing me a tension there. But as soon as I started to change my mindset and think, right, okay, what can I do differently? Is waking up at 2 meaning that I need to get up and journal and be accepting of it? And as soon as I moved into that energy, things began to change more. And it's almost like they had these new thoughts that come up. because I'd like kind of approached it with a different mindset, and I kind of connected and realized that one of the things that I wanted to, and that I am moving into now, is to take up studying radionics. Now, radionics is a is an energy form of energy healing that is done working on different frequencies and interacting with ourselves and all of consciousness.
Didn't the Russians produce that for the astronauts going into space because they couldn't take all different medicines should something happen? So
it's a way for them to work and adjust the frequencies to realign them and rebalance them. And that's what it's all about. It's about that rebalancing. It's about that bringing us back into that greater alignment. And the reason why I'm kind of moving into that is because I also, some years ago, I studied homeopathy for a few years. And it was fascinating that is also, everything is working on your energy, is bringing you back into balance. Yeah. And as we bring ourselves back into balance, as we allow ourselves to utilising our time in the best way to assist that process, we start to connect more to our multi-dimensional selves.
We do. Yeah. And also it's something that we've had such great success with the radionics machine, with not just with ourselves, but with animals and plants. I mean, it's such an amazing energetic tool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful, and I think that, as we move into this new phase, as we move into this new energy, we're moving through these new changes, it's about not rushing it, taking time to do it and just realising that the more that we can evolve into this energy, the more we're assisting all of humanity, and that is what humanity is moving into.
This evolving timeline. And I think the more we can allow ourselves to adapt to these changes more quickly within ourselves, then it sounds funny, but then the quicker the quickening will take place. But as I said earlier, it's very much about this greater clarity from opening within, and remembering that, I've said this many times, that everything is an inside job and everything comes from this inside creativity. So this creation that we see in our lives has to happen within us first. So, but it's more than that. There's also this a deeper understanding that's coming with that clarity, far more than what has been previously allowed. And as we allow ourselves to move and acknowledge with these changes, we're going to find, as Paul said, this greater expansion, and coming with that a mastery. Because the more we are becoming aligned with our higher essence and that higher vibrational frequency of existence, the more conscious we're becoming, the more our lives really light up even more. The more we create, the more we find we're creating things faster. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that to us, things are happening so quickly. And this, the more we are allowing that consciousness of the divine, of creation, to come in alignment with us, then the more we're awakening ourselves and that remembering that we've mentioned before, remembering the truth of who we are. Because, it is always there, but what we're doing is it's like a flower, we're removing the outer petals to allow that inner beauty to really come into being, to really shine.
And it's... recently, a friend of ours gave us some lychee, which is homegrown, and that kind of reminds me of that when we were. You peel the skin away, that then allows you to get to that succulent fruit that's inside, and it was beautiful.
I mean, I love lychees. I've never tasted anything like it.
It was so,
honestly, I said it was bliss.
It was so,
and you were just
it was so succulent, it was. But again, it's peeling back those layers, isn't it? Opening the doorway to allow us to get to that juicy fruit that's inside.
Yeah, the juiciness. Let your juices flow. So it's with our own self-development, and as we allow ourselves to really kind of move into this energy, this frequency of greater freedom, within these changes, we're going to find them happening much more organically, like the lychees. They call them leeches here, which is something completely different in England. They're those things they put on your skin that clean your blood. So we did have a giggle about that. But yeah, so the more we're pulling back those outer layers, the more we can allow that fullness of the fruit to really come into being, to allow our inner light to shine more. So it's such an auspicious time, I feel, right now. And just one more thing I want to mention before I hand it back to my darling, is also, there's a lot of people saying, myself included, that we keep forgetting things or we can't remember things. But what I want to say is trust in that you will always know what you really need to know, what is important, when you need to know it. And this is something I've said for many years back as well. Sometimes I just can't remember things. I think, oh well, it can't matter. But don't give yourself a hard time about it. Just laugh, use your humour, and think, is that really important? Is it something that really matters right now? And just allow that energy to flow, because this is a sign that you are kind of moving through timelines and that energy much faster, so it's a good thing. Yeah.
I think definitely, and it's funny, as I always say about, when the student's ready, the teacher will become known. And I think that's everything in life. And I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy transition to move into this energy, but the more we can be at ease, and I can't, emphasize that enough, the more we can be at ease with everything, the easier that transition will be. And it's a necessary transition in order for us to really fully align into our true essence, that essence that is we think of it as something up there or out there, but it's inside of us, it's surrounding us, it's everything.
Didn't you get that in our meditation the
I
other
did,
day?
Yeah.
Oh, did you remember?
Where we are,
the entire
that everything is here. And it's funny, I had this visualization where we were connecting to each other's hearts, and then we were created this globe that surrounded us, this sphere of light and healing energy and expansiveness. And then I felt like there was this hands coming round to injecting energy into that sphere. But it wasn't. But it wasn't. The sphere wasn't separate, although initially it appeared separate in this visualization. I felt like it was everything. It was the entire existence. It was all of consciousness was there, and these hands didn't become hands anymore. It just became this oneness of everything, and it was really incredible, and it was almost, the transition of it was so unfolded with such ease and such joy and such love. And I think if we can embody that energy into this transitional period, then I think all will be well, because it already has been.
It is, yeah. So,
but it is a necessary part. So allow yourself to move into that, and to what should I say, adopting this new attitude, of this new mental state of acceptance, of wanting to allow yourself to be more flexible, allow that greater freedom. We keep talking about this greater freedom, but that's what everything evolves from. When we have freedom, we have room. When we have room, we have room to breathe. When we can breathe, we can think more clearly. When we can think more clearly, we're aligning ourselves more to that connection to our divinity. Yeah. And that's where we can be really inspired into everything.
Yeah. And I think the more you're able to really work on yourself and get into that aligned state of being, the easier everything becomes. And I've got, I know you're going to prepare for Jarama now, and I've got a little saying in my little bathroom that came to me in a sleep or in a meditation, and it was alignment, action, abundance. And I think that's true. Everything is created far more easily and without controlling anything, without wanting to know the exact outcome. But once we're aligned, then we take the action that we feel is right at that time, then the abundance comes. So alignment, action, abundance. So yeah, work on yourselves as you get into that state of aligned being, and let your consciousness just really flow into that greater expansion. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. So I can feel Jarama coming through. It seems such a long while since he's spoken to us. So I'm going to sit back and really enjoy the wisdom that this collective consciousness want to share with us. Welcome, Jarama.
Hello, my friends.
Hello.
It is, and we often say this, that what is important is what you do now. What is in the future is a wonderful thing to ponder upon, but that future is created in this now moment and in every now moment. And this is the beauty where if you can find yourself entering into a mindset where you can set yourself free of the past and free of the future, then being more present will really enhance not just your life, but your experience of it. Because as you experience life living more presently, you will find the richness of it in greater detail. You will feel the essence that runs through every experience with a greater joy, with a greater understanding, because you will be coming from that more aligned state of being. So being more present is the key for so many things, living in the now. And yes, it is very easy to say and not necessarily so easy to do. But it is up to you. As we have said, it is your mindset. It is your choice. As is everything in life is your choice. And the choices you make are then going to reflect the experiences that you have. Because with every choice, you are creating a frequency that resonates within you, and life will want to reflect back the experiences of that same frequency, of that same resonance. So the more that you can find yourself being aware of where you are in this present moment, how are you feeling? How are you connecting to things? How are you responding to things? These will give you little keys as to where you're at within your life. And this is not to say to give you yourself a hard time, but rather to use it as a barometer and to make adjustments and tweaks and changes, to look at life in that it is this unfolding journey that is there to be enjoyed, is there to be lived, is there to be experienced. But the more that you can allow it to be experienced through the eyes of love, through the eyes of expansion, through that higher consciousness, that higher frequency and resonance, you will find that it opens up so many new doors to you. It opens up doorways that will, shall we say, bring about this further enlightenment, that will bring back and bring down and open up the veils of separation. The veils that separate you from yourself, firstly. The veils that separate your true self to everything else. The veils of separation that will then allow you to communicate so much more clearly with your other dimensional existences, the other dimensional realities that are taking place at this same time. You are infinite beings. So allow your minds to open up into that infiniteness. And part of that infiniteness is allowing in that energy of love. Love is the answer to all of existence. Because where love shines its light, nothing else can exist. But when love shines its light, it will often bring up anything unlike itself. But it will do so when you are ready. It will do so in your own divine timing. And the more that you can be present, the more that you can be in that connected, aligned state, the easier that loving energy can come in and therefore drive out anything else that is not in that same frequency, that is not of that same frequency. But always, always, always be kind and gentle to yourselves. Be understanding that it's okay to make mistakes. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to experience, to make choices, and to move through life in new ways, rather than becoming stuck in the old ways of the past. It is up to you, my friends. It is always up to you. It is your choice. So ask yourself, in this new moment and each moment moving forward, what do you choose to do? What energy do you choose to focus on? And we would encourage you to always choose love, always choose kindness, always choose understanding. But above all else, always choose and believe in your true essence, because you are already all of those things and so much more. And with that, my friends, we will say goodbye for now. But remember, take your time, allow it to unfold, and the more you can do so with a greater ease, the more you will really enjoy and fully embrace your own journey. Enjoy, my friends. Goodbye for now.
Thank you so much. Love to all. Thank you. Always wise words, and always this beautiful field of energy just circles us when they come through. That was lovely. Thank you, Paul. So take time as well to notice and talk about the beauty around you, and talk about and discuss with friends, these synchronicities that are taking place in your life, however small or big they will be. Acknowledge that you're allowing yourself to move into this energy of greater freedom. And, I've said this for a long time, doing everything with as much ease and joy as possible, even what, you may consider mundane tasks. I enjoy vacuuming the house. Paul likes washing up, tidying the kitchen at night.
That's my thing. Yeah,
yeah.
It's my nighttime little sort of routine
Ritual.
that I go into.
Yeah, he loves it.
But but it's like anything. Just have fun with what you're doing.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, for listening. We truly, deeply appreciate you choosing your time to be here with us. We love our growing community, so please remember, hit that like button and subscribe, and share with friends that you think, could enjoy this conversation as well. As always, we love to hear reflections.
Yeah, definitely. And put a comment down below, and if you really are getting something from this, then share it. Share with your friends, share with family. Just get that word out there that we can actually join as one into this conversation of expanded living.
Yeah. So we'd like to finish by inviting you to answer this question. We'd love to hear from you. Which synchronicities, signs, or gentle nudges have been appearing in your life recently, and how might they be guiding your next step. So how many synchronicities, or which synchronicities, signs or nudges have been appearing in your life recently, and how might they be guiding you to your next step? Please comment. Let's get some conversation going down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So we love you so much. We look forward to being with you again very soon. And my favourite thing is focus on your frequency. Keep that up. So,
and that just leaves us to say,
Namaste.